So, good afternoon, everyone. Um, this is Alvaro Mariano Carpio from BSE EDS 21 to teach you the basics of how to play volleyball. First, let's start with the standard court. On the center of the court, you see the center line and where the net will be placed. Below that is the label of the white square with letter A that symbolizes the referee stand, and on both sides, 3 meters across, is the front zone or attack line. And beyond that, on both sides again, we have the back zones, and beyond the end line is we have the service zone. And that's the exact measurement of a standard volleyball court where you will be playing. And those red partitions on the above of the image, that we that those are the place where the substitute players will be placed, where they will wait for a player a player on the court, where they will be substituted just in case they get tired, or a swap of players will take place. Now let's proceed to the positioning or the rotation. On the back zone, we have the libero in the center and surrounded by both setters on left and right. And on the front zone, we have the left, the middle, and the right side hitter. And of course, the red partition there symbolizes the center line. And both of these white lines are the uh, front zones. Now let's proceed to the basic rules. First off, start off with 6 players on a team, 3 on the back and 3 on the front, just like here in the diagram. Setter, libero, that's 3 on the back, left, middle, right, hitter on the front. Now in one team there are 12 players. It it says 6 because in a game only 6 players are allowed. So the other 6 will be the substitute players. That is that is on both teams. Now the maximum of hits per side will be 3, and the player may not hit the ball twice in succession, meaning in consecutive order. Um, that means when you hit the ball once, you cannot hit it again. And block is not considered a hit. Then the ball may be played off the net during a volley and a serve. And a ball hitting the boundary line is in. Where's the boundary line? The sidelines are the boundary lines. Now, if you hit that that means your ball is in. And how you can tell if the ball is out? The ball is out if it hits the antenna or the center, the floor outside the court, meaning either floors outside the service zone and the free zone, the blue line outside of that, any net or cables outside the antenna, the referee's stand or pole, and the ceiling above a non-playable area. So, if a ball hits the ceiling, that's it, your ball is out. And it is legal to contact the ball with any part of a player's body. But it is illegal to catch, hold, or throw the ball. Basically, you cannot make contact with the ball if your hands are on a holding position, you're about to catch it in order to save the ball. That's still illegal. And if two or more players contact the ball at the same time, it is considered one play. And either player involved may make the next contact, provided the next contact isn't the team's fourth hit. And a player can block or attack a serve from on or outside or inside the 10-foot line. And after the serve, frontline players may switch positions at the net. That is what we call rotation. And at higher competition, the officiating crew may be made up of two refs, two referees, line judges, scorer, and an assistant scorer. Now, these are the rules for violation. Number 1, when serving, when you serve the ball at the beginning of each set, sets 1, 2, and 3, when serving, stepping on or across the service line as you make contact with the serve. So yeah, you cannot serve while making contact with the service line or stepping across. And a violation will be made if a failure to serve the ball over the net successfully. So if you serve the ball and it failed to cross over the net, that's a violation. Contacting the ball illegally, lifting, carrying, throwing, or what I said earlier. If your hands are positioned as to throw the ball or to catch, that's illegal. Touching the net with any part of the body while the ball is in play. But there's an exception. If the ball is driven into the net with such force that causes the net to contact an opposing player, no foul will be called while that is taking place, and the ball shall continue to be in play. And the next rule of violation is when blocking a ball coming from the opposite court, contacting the ball when reaching over the net is a violation if both your opponent hasn't used three contacts and they have a player there to make a play on the ball. Next rule for violation. When attacking a ball coming from the opponent's court, contacting the ball when reaching over the net is a violation if the ball hasn't yet broken the vertical plane of the net. Next rule for violation is crossing the court center line with any part of your body. But of course, there's an exception. If it's the hand or foot, the entire hand or the entire foot must cross for it to be a violation. And of course, serving out of order. Next is back row player blocking. This is deflecting a ball coming from their opponent. When at the moment of contact, the back row player is near the net and as part of his or her body above the top of the net. That is called an illegal block. And of course, we have the back row player attacking. A ball inside the front zone, the area inside the 10-foot line. Basically, the ball in both front zones. When at the moment of contact the ball is completely above the net, that is called an illegal attack. And here are the basic violations in volleyball. First, consecutive contacts. A player may not hit the ball 2 times consecutively except when blocking. The one I told earlier. You cannot hit the ball twice in succession except when blocking, provided the contacts take place simultaneously. However, a player may make consecutive contacts on the team's first contact, provided the contacts occur during one action. And we have the 4 hits. It's a violation for a team to hit the ball 4 times before returning it. So basically, if the opposing team hits the ball onto your team, I believe you have only 2 or 3 times of hitting it before you can return it back. But when it calls for a fourth hit, you will be called for violation. Assisted hit. It's illegal for a player or any other object to assist a teammate in playing the ball. And the fourth is catch. Basically what I said earlier, it's illegal to catch or throw the ball. The ball must be bound from the hit. The fifth one is a ball crossing the net outside the crossing space. The ball must cross the net within the crossing space. The ball must cross over the net between the antennas, their imaginary extension, and without contacting the ceiling. Sixth, reaching over the net. There are official rules for playing the ball at the net. So you can check that on the internet. Penetration under the net. It's permitted for a player to step under the net into the opponent's court provided that some part of the penetrating hand or foot is in contact with or is directly above the center line. The eighth is contact with the net. Contact with the net is only a fault if contact is made during the action of playing the ball or if it interferes with play. And the ninth is foot fault. At the moment of service, contact, or take off for a jump serve, the server must not touch the court or the ground outside the service zone. After contact, he or she may step or land outside the service zone or inside the court. The tenth basic violation is attacking faults. The following are volleyball violations for attacking. First, a back row player completes an attack hit from the front zone if at the moment of contact the ball is entirely above the top of the net. Second one, an opponent completes an attack hit on a served ball when the ball is in the front zone and the ball is entirely above the top of the net. Third, the libero completes an attack hit if at the moment of contact the ball is entirely above the top of the net. Fourth, the player completes an attack from higher than the top of the net when the ball is coming from an overhead finger pass by a libero in the front zone. Last but not the least, the 11th rule of violation or the 11th basic violation is blocking within the opponent's space. A blocker may place his or her hands beyond the net provided this action doesn't interfere with the opponent's play. It's illegal to block beyond the net provided the ball would have crossed the net if not touched by a player and no member of the attacking team was in position to make a play. The ball is falling near the net, and no members of the attacking team is in position to make play. Contact with the ball is made after three team contacts. So those are the 11 basic violations in volleyball. So if you want to win, you must make little or no violations at all. Next, we have the dress code. Players may wear glasses or lenses at their own risk. Products may be available to aid in the prevention of injuries specifically to the eyes, ankles, or knees. So, in volleyball, those are the most protected area of the body: the eyes, the ankles, or the knees. First is a shirt. During practice, athletes should wear a shirt that is comfortable and allows freedom of movement in the shoulder area. Long sleeves can reduce the impact of the ball in the forearms during passing and therefore an acceptable option. Make sure the length of the shirt is long enough to tuck into a pair of shorts or warm up pants. And of course, the t-shirt should be um, in light colors because of the breathability of the shirt, and make sure it's comfortable, not too snug, not too loose, just right. And we have the shorts. During practice, athletes should wear gym shorts or their uniform shorts. Shorts should provide the athlete with comfort and good appearance. During competition, all players should wear shorts that are similar in appearance. This includes striping, colors, and logos. So these are the shorts, the very short shorts you see on the TV when there is a volleyball play, when there is little to no fabric on the skin, and the short goes to the very very high. So that serves a purpose for complete mobility. And of course, we have socks. It is recommended that athletes wear socks to absorb the foot moisture during activity. Because, let's face it, when playing volleyball, you play three sets. I know there are countries that play up to four sets, and that's really tiring, and it makes your foot sweaty. So you have to wear socks and shoes. Um, no, not school shoes, not formal shoes, not dress shoes, rubber shoes, athletic shoes. And make sure there's no cleats for it to be more comfortable and safe to wear inside the court. Warm up suits, these are the these are the t-shirts that are before the game. When warming up, you see the players with long sleeve shirts. So those are that. Knee pads. This is to protect the knee, especially when you're doing a maneuver called the dive, wherein you have to dive to save the ball. It protects your knees. And that's about it. Now let's go to the hand signals in volleyball. The first hand signal is the authorization to serve, and that is moving the hand to indicate the direction of the service. So you have to move your hand in the position of the starting team for them to commence the serve. It means you're authorizing them. Second is um, change of courts, or the third is change of courts rather. This is done at the half half time for players to go around the court, not just to play at the one side of the court. And the fourth one is timeout. So to do this, you raise your hands and then you form a letter T using both of your hands. And after that, um, you place your hand on the team, or you put the hand on the direction of the team who's making a timeout. It's left or right. And the fifth one is substitution. Basically, both fists, and you move it in a revolution or a rotation. And of course, the sixth one, misconduct penalty. This is when you're playing and then you got heated in the moment. You're saying some words or doing some actions that is unprofessional in the volleyball court. So for that, you have been given a misconduct penalty, which is the referee raising his hand and holding a yellow card. That is a misconduct penalty. Expulsion penalty is the referee raising his hand and showing a red card for expulsion. You're expelled. And the third degree, the eighth one, disqualification. This time, the referee raises his hands and he's holding both yellow and red cards to justify why you need to be disqualified. The ninth hand signal is end of set or end of match. This is done when you cross both of your arms on your chest. The 10th hand signal is the ball is not tossed or released at the service hit. This is done by flattening out your hands, putting it below, and raising it back and forth. And the 11th hand signal is delay in service. So you raise 8 fingers and you spread it open. That's delay in service. The 12th hand signal is blocking fault or screening. Raise both arms vertically, palms forward. Next one is positional or rotation fault. This is basically making a circular motion with the forefinger. Ball in, point the arm and fingers toward the floor. And of course, the second most famous signal is out. Raise both forearms vertically, hands open, palms toward the body. So your hands is inward. 16th, catch. Slowly lifting the forearm, the palm of the hand facing upwards. Double contact, raising 2 fingers spread open. And of course, the violation for hits, raising 4 fingers spread open. And the 19th, the next one, is the net touched by the player and served ball fails to pass the opponent through crossing space. So that is when you touch the net intentionally or not, or if you serve the ball and it fails to pass over the net. Reaching beyond the net, place a hand above the net, palm facing downwards. Attack hit fault, make a downward motion with the forearm, hand and open. Penetration into opponent court. Double fault and replay. Ball touched. Delay warning or delay penalty. Illegal contact. And of course, when you're holding a flag, or this is the flag signals. When to, if you're going to indicate ball in, you have to point down with your flag. Ball out, the opposite. You raise your flag. Ball touched, put the flag in front of you, and the other hand on top of the flag, palm facing downwards. Crossing space faults, you wave the flag and you point your other hand to the respective team. And judgment impossible. Raise and cross both arms and hands in front of the chest. So that is the basics of volleyball. In this lesson, we have learned the hand signals, the dress codes, the basic violations, the rules of violations, and the basic rules on how to play, the positions of all players, and the standard measurement of the court and the parts of it. So I hope you enjoy the lesson, the crash course, and I'll see you on the next one. So this is me, and I'm about to sign off. Goodbye.